You know, we are definitely living through some dark times here in America, but if there is one thing that we should all get a little bit of hope from, it's that the American people seem to be experiencing some buyer's remorse. We have been seeing town halls all across the country filling up with pissed off voters who are very angry with this administration. And I think the funny thing is, Donald Trump has only been in office for what? 2 months now? So the blowback has been swift and it has been severe. People are looking around and realizing that Trump and his administration are trying to tear down our government from the inside out, and they just don't like what they see. And some of these town halls have gotten so bad for Republicans that many of them have just run away and refused to hold one because they've been advised against it. And when the select few do show up and it goes terribly, terribly wrong for them, they just turn around and they start saying it was paid agitators, it was paid protesters, oh, it was George Soros paying a whole bunch of crazy lefties. So instead of trying to take the temperature of America and realize that the American people are actually pissed off right now, they just do what MAGA does best, and they start blaming others. And the funny part about the whole thing is PBS showed up at one of these town halls to figure out whether any of these absurd claims are true. Let's go ahead and see what they figured out. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
There is no organized protest, but in this deep red congressional district, those here have deep-seated concern about President Trump and Elon Musk.
So are we going to sit at home on the couch and let these billionaires control the country? Hell no. We are the poor people. We're a red state.
I'm thoroughly sad and petrified. I almost kind of want to cry. It's just I don't see any hope.
Hi,
One by one, we asked and confirmed people are from here.
Okay, where are you from?
Columbus.
Columbus.
Contrary to some Republican claims that outside groups come to disrupt.
Who's from the congressional district? All of you are from the congressional district. Has anyone been paid to be here?
No.
No one. Okay.
I'm actually taking work off to be here.
You're taking work off
I'm
to be
losing
here.
money to be here.
So not only are people not being paid to show up at these town halls, but people are actually taking off work and losing money because they want their voices to be heard. And we've talked about this a little bit before, but you've got groups like Indivisible, Move On, you've got other groups that work on a local level to let people know about these town halls. I mean, that is just how democracy works. You have to organize somehow. You've got to let people know that these types of events are taking place in their area. So to turn that into some malicious scandal, like everybody's being paid to be there to just make Republicans look bad, is quite absurd. And we should all know better, but the Republicans, I guess, have nothing else better to do because they don't want to take accountability for the absolute insanity that is going down in this White House. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these town halls. Here's one from over in Spokane, Washington. I think this is Representative Baumgardner. And like I've mentioned before, one of the through lines with all of these town halls is people are super pissed off about Trump's imperialist ambitions.
I've been in Spokane for 39 years from New Jersey. I've never been involved in politics before, but this is getting really scary. Okay, so the things that frighten me is the way this insane president talks about Canada as a 51st state. Yeah. Taking Panama by force and buying Greenland. Yeah. How does this person qualify as sane? Why is he not being impeached right now?
So, in short, I don't support us absorbing Canada. Canada, that would be like taking. Canada's been a good neighbor. Canada is much more liberal and left wing than the United States. If we took Canada. Taking Canada would be like taking another California. It would tilt things towards the Democrats.
Now, he's actually not wrong about that, and I always found it funny that Trump had never ever considered this before. You want to antagonize all of Canada, and then you say you want to absorb them as the 51st state? So what? You're going to have Canada, who's all pissed off at you, and then you absorb them, and now you've got a huge contingent of your own country who hate your guts. And of course, they are a bit more liberal than your average American conservative, so of course, it would benefit the Democrats. But you'll notice he's not really answering the crux of the question here. Why is Donald Trump not locked up in an insane asylum with these certifiably insane delusions? Donald Trump has been on an unhinged imperialist rant ever since he got sworn in. He's talked about taking Canada. He's talked about taking Mexico. He's talked about Panama, Greenland. I mean, it has all been absolutely unhinged, and it doesn't seem like there are many Republicans at all that are trying to quell these imperialist ambitions. Instead, they just let Donald Trump go out there and say whatever he wants to say, and they never push back at all. It is just so wild to me. Here's another town hall with Harriet Hegman just proving that she is not in touch with the American people.
The work that I have specifically been doing, I am on the Judiciary Committee and the Natural Resources Committee.
I worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, helping Wyoming family farmers deal with drought until I was fired a month ago in the mass firings, and despite only having the highest marks in my performance review. In a state where so many farmers rely on government programs for drought and disaster relief, Trump's plans to cut these programs and the people who administer them, coupled with the tariffs, will decimate Wyoming farms and rural communities. What are you doing about that?
I disagree. Programs are out there. It's so bizarre to me how obsessed you are with federal government. But here's the thing. You're going to have a heart attack if you don't calm down. I'm sorry. Your hysteria is just really over the top.
How could she be this out of touch? You're going to accuse the whole crowd of just being hysterical? They have absolutely no idea what they're talking about when the constituent is actually bringing up some really good points here. You've got DOJ going around cutting off federal funding, shutting down agencies, and the American people are actually starting to notice because all of these programs run by the federal government, they're all interconnected. You've got the USDA that, gives money to farmers so they can have their surplus crops, feeding poorer people. We've got the USAID, which pays farmers to ship their excess crops overseas so we can help in that regard. So we've got all of these different programs that are so intermingled, and this constituent is rightly pointing out that you're starting to hurt the American people with all of these cuts. And then Harriet Hegman tries to say, I don't think that's true. No, DOJ is just going around and making things more efficient. Yada, 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 yada. It's just one thing that is so frustrating about most of these Republican town halls. They don't appear to be listening. They just preach to the crowd. They let me try to force you to live inside my reality. What you're saying actually doesn't matter because I know what is best for you. That is the same vibe that we have been getting from all of these town halls. Here's another one with Mike Flood talking about Doge and Elon.
Elon Musk gets $40 billion a year in funding from the federal government. What makes you think that has no conflict of interest, that he has no conflict of interest? Do you think he would cut that before he would cut our Medicare or our Social Security or our jobs?
I support Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency.
How is that your answer? How is that your answer? This guy is bringing up a very good point. Elon has all of these federal contracts. He's taking in all of these billions of dollars from the federal government. And how is that not a walking conflict of interest? When you've got him running around Washington, D.C., he's shutting off federal funding that he doesn't like. He's shutting down agencies he doesn't like. And we've known that he's targeting agencies that he himself has a problem with, whether they had an open investigation against him, whether they could have been an agency that could, bring him problems in the future with different regulatory rules or whatever. Elon Musk has been running around trying to rig the system in his favor. And instead of addressing the question, you say, I support Doge and Elon Musk. Dude, how can these people be just this dumb? Why are they not listening? Everybody really likes the idea of having an agency that goes around and finds waste, fraud, and abuse, but that is not what Doge is doing. And it has been proven over and over and over again that this supposed wall of receipts is just a wall of lies that Elon has been creating to sell the narrative for him to go around and cut all this different funding. It is absolutely absurd. Here's another town hall with Chuck Grassley, where this guy's pointing out how Trump is hurting the farmers.
Yes. I think I'm frustrated because of that civics lesson you talked about. That we have three branches of government that run this country and determine our policy on the big issues. Are we going to turn Canada into the 51st state? Are we going to take over the Great Lakes? Are we going to impose tariffs throughout the world and hurt our Iowa manufacturers who happen to sell $5 billion every year of farm equipment, road equipment to the Canadians?
Used to.
If you look at Gomaco from Ida Grove, Iowa, they have 5 locations in Canada to sell pavement equipment.
Not anymore.
Together with Pella Windows, together with Vermeer, who has a dozen. And my question, sir, and I think what's on our mind here is, where is Congress?
Yes.
So this guy is pointing out a lot of great things here. You're talking about how we're treating our allies, how you're hurting the farmers, how these tariffs are going to hurt the farmers. And I just want you to see how Chuck Grassley answers this question. This is just wild.
And they made very clear 2 weeks ago at a cabinet meeting that only the cabinet members could carry out any decisions that Trump wanted to carry out.
That's not happening. That's not happening.
And so remember, the buck stops in the Oval Office.
Does the buck stop with Charles Grassley?
How is this his answer? The dude was clearly asking about, where's Congress? Donald Trump is imposing these tariffs. He's treating our allies like crap. And now all of these Iowa, I think it is, farmers are being hurt by all of these different policy things that Donald Trump is doing. And the Congress has seemed to cede all of their power to Donald Trump. Like, where is Congress? And then Chuck Grassley comes in and the buck stops with the White House. What? No. This guy is clearly bringing up we're supposed to have 3 co-equal branches of government. We're not supposed to let Congress cede all of their power to the president so Donald Trump gets to make all of these decisions. But that's exactly what we have seen. That continuing resolutions that Republicans just passed, that gave away their power to challenge Donald Trump on all of these insane tariffs. Like, one by one, they are giving away all of their power of the purse. It is absolutely insane. So this guy is rightly pointing out that the government is not functioning like it should. You senators and House members, they are not exercising their power like they should, and it is hurting the people that you say you care about, the farmers. I mean, how many times did we hear Donald Trump rant and rave about how he's going to help all the farmers out, even though I knew it was a lie and maybe you knew it was a lie? But Now, his policy are going into action, and that's the exact opposite effect that they said it would have. It is hurting the farmers. When you treat our allies like crap and we can't trade freely with people like Canada, that is a huge, huge problem for many American companies. And for Congress to just roll over and remove their backbones and cede all their power to Donald Trump, it's just absolutely pathetic. And so we can see these town halls all over the country. They're filling up with pissed off voters. People are starting to notice that all of these things that Doge, all of these things that Elon and Trump are doing are actually starting to impact their lives. People are starting to have buyer's remorse for Donald Trump. He is severely unpopular. His ratings are falling off a cliff, and the American people are showing up at these town halls to make their voices heard. So if you've got town halls in your area, make sure you get involved. Check into the Indivisible group and see if they have empty chair town halls for all of these coward Republicans that refuse to show up. Get involved on the local level. Get involved with the Tesla takedown protests. Get involved with other protests, because it's going to be we, the American people, who need to push back on this authoritarian takeover. These people want us to grow despondent. They want us to roll over. They want us to not care. They want us to feel like we don't have any power, but it is we, the people, that have all the power. But we've got to come together, and we have to prove that to them. So get involved any way you can, and let's fight back against this authoritarian regime. I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. Like I've been saying, we got to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against all of this MAGA brain rot we've been seeing that is plaguing our country. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. It's always free, of course. And if you guys want to see how the Trump administration is basically engaged in human trafficking and is deporting innocent people to an El Salvadorian prison, please do watch that video on the screen now. Everybody needs to be talking about that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.